Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Let's do some more fun, simple, scrap busting crafting. Y'all stay tuned. So as I have been making some of my recent Valentine's projects, I have been left with a lot of small scraps, medium-sized scraps, and trying to figure out what to do with those. Well, I have a project today that I think is going to help us a little bit in getting rid of some of the smaller pieces, and it's also ideal if you have a whole bunch of 6x6 paper pads, because what I'll be making today will be for Valentine's Day, but if you've got paper pads of all sorts of patterns and all seasons, you don't have to worry about just using this project for Valentine's Day. Use it for any season, any reason, any gender, guys. You're going to hear me say that over and over and over. And here is today's project. You guys may have seen these somewhere throughout your crafting careers. If you're a longtime paper crafter, you'll remember these from way back. And if you're new to paper crafting, you actually may have seen some of these at weddings or bridal showers or baby showers. They're great party favors, and that's what we're going to use our small scraps on today. So let's get started. So this is going to be very quick and easy, like I said, and I am going to bring in 2 pieces because we're going to just go ahead and make 2 quickies because it's so easy to make. And these pieces measure 3 by 5, and that's why I said this is perfect for using up your small scraps. Or if you wanted to cut down from a 6x6 paper pad, you're able to get 2 of these from that. So I'll take this and on the 5-inch side, score straight down the middle at 2.5. Then I'm going to turn it, and I'm not going to score from end to end. What I'm going to do is just go in halfway at 2.5 and just make a mark. So I'll have a mark point. Then I'll flip it at the other end, go in at 2.5 and just make a mark point. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this one. So I'll put it in at 2.5, score all the way down on the 5-inch side. Then let's turn it to the 3-inch side. We'll go into 2.5, and we're simply going to make a mark. And we'll turn it to the opposite end and make another mark. This time I'm going to use a different colored pen so I can show you guys exactly what I'm doing with these marks. So where I made my mark is right there and right here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to come back. So I'm going to go ahead and fold on my score. Then I'll open it up so that I'll have my center line here. So all I'm going to do at this point, and I'm just going to make a mark so you guys can see there and there. So all I'm going to do is take my ruler, position it on the mark at the top, then angle it out to where it's at the end of that mark I just made there. And I don't always get it perfect or straight, but get it close enough. And my goal is to bring a mark from here to here, and I'll come over to the other side, position it on that mark, come up to the mark I made at the top, and do the same thing. So then I'll flip it over here, come down to the bottom, make my mark, and like I said, I'll try to get as close as I can, but sometimes I don't. And then I'll position it right there, come up, and make my mark. And I'm writing on this paper just so that you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm doing. So I made these marks on here so that you guys could see what I'm doing. Ordinarily, I would not make any marks. I would simply use my ruler to get a score in this shape. But I wanted to make sure you guys saw what I was doing from beginning to end. So now I'll come back with my ruler, place it down on my mark as best I can. And then I'm going to come back and just go over it a few times to get a nice deep impression. And I'll do this on all sides of this project. All right, so once we have our scores in, we're simply going to come back and burnish those. And I won't be using this, of course, it's for demonstration purposes, but I wanted to make sure you guys saw me do this from beginning to end. So then when it's like this, we're going to take it, I'll come back with my crocodile, and all you need is a hole punch. And I'm simply going to come in at the top where I've got my pieces here, but I'm going to have it flat at this point. And I am going to punch a hole on one side, go over to the other side, and try to match up that hole. And don't worry about it if you don't get it perfect, because that's okay. So at this point, all we need to do is take it and fold it like this. And now we can come back through one piece. Let's feed our ribbon through that piece. So we'll go on the top of that piece, but then we have this bottom piece, and we want to go through that piece from the outside, so that when you pull it, this piece will go on top of that piece. And now you want to take your ribbon, because it's on the inside, and you want to feed it through the inside hole of that back piece. Let's pull it through, and now we can come back and take it and feed it through from the inside of the front piece. And when we pull it tight, we'll be left with this. So now you can come back and tie yourself a nice little bow, something that I am really not good at doing. But before you tie your bow, you're going to want to fill it with candy, but I wanted to show you guys the process first before we make the real one. So now we're going to just make a real one for our little collection. So remember, I scored 2 pieces at the beginning, and now I'm using the second one, and I have my marks here at the top, but I'm not going to write on this because this is actually going to be a real project. So I am finding my mark, I'll come to the edge, and I am just going to come back and forth with my bone folder, and I'll flip it over, come back and find my mark again. And sometimes I have to put my finger there. Or if you want, you could just make a light mark with a pencil, but I wouldn't make it a deep mark. And I'll come back to the other side and do the same thing. So I am simply going to find my mark, go to the edge, and I'll do it over here as well. And now I'll come back, and I'm just going to fold on my score mark. And like I said, it won't always be perfect. Sometimes you won't get as close to the corners as you want, and that's okay. That happens to me a lot when I make these. You can't even tell. They look great. So now we have this, and I am simply going to fold it up like that. I'll come back with my crocodile, or all you need is a punch, and I'm punching a hole just like that. I'll come in on the other side and try to match that hole up. I'll get it as close to being even as possible. Won't make a whole lot of a difference if I'm off a little bit. And just like that. So now I am going to come back, and this time I'm going to put some candy inside. And usually you can just get a couple in these, not a whole lot. So I've got a couple of Hershey's Kisses in here, and this is ideal for just a little something something type gift that you might want to give to someone. And now I'll come back with my ribbon, and remember, we start at one side and we place the ribbon through the front of that one side. Let's pull it through, and then we go back to the back of that same side and go in with our ribbon. And now we have our ribbon on the inside. So now we take the ribbon on that back piece, we feed it through the inside of the back piece, then we turn it around and we feed it through the inside of the front piece. And then we just pull it. Get our candy in there nice and tight. And I got a comment from one of you guys asking me, how can I sit out here and work with all of this candy and not eat it? Well, I can't, and I don't. I guess what I should do is surround myself with candies that I really don't like, but I have a problem with that. I have never met a candy to date that I don't like, so I'll nibble every now and then. So now I'm going to tie my little bow, and just like that, we've got a cute little Valentine's Day favor. I am going to just cut off a little bit of that ribbon. So then I'm going to come back with just a little bit of heat and put it towards the end of my ribbon so that it can melt those fibers and stop the fraying of my ribbon. So there, we've got the XOXO. Looks great. And so at this point, we can dress our little favor boxes up any way we want. And I am going to keep mine very simple. I am simply going to put a sticker on here that says, "For my friend." You can put a sticker. You don't have to put a sticker. You can make them as dressy or as plain as you like. It's all up to you and what you like. So I'm going to bring in the other two that I made to go with this one. And you guys can see just how delightfully cute these are. And you saw how simple they were to make. So this is another way that we can use up some of those 6x6 papers that some of us have. And this is also a great way of using up scraps, because the more you paper craft, the more scraps you're going to have. So guys, I hope that this has given you a fun favor idea for Valentine's Day. Bring a smile to somebody's face. Go ahead and make up a bunch of these and just hand them out to people, random people, people you know, whomever. It'll make them smile. So I hope that you have liked this project. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys, have a great day. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.